can go back to main, I think.
Dun dun dun. We're back. And what's it look like now?
Looks golden here, Bobby. Can you hear us?
I can hear. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
cool.
Yep. We had to refresh. If this happens again, by the
Yeah,
way, there's something else we can do. It's gonna take a few more minutes, but I'm
yeah.
not worried about it. Let's see if we can plug ahead with this.
Yeah, let's just plug ahead. It's good. I mean, I have some lag. Thanks, Bobby, for putting that in. Michael has some lag. Um, yeah, and we're back. Um, I don't know. Kind of throwing off my game a little bit. And there's some additional freehand. I was kind of doing a little bit
Ah,
more freehand,
cool.
like how this would end up. So I'll start dark, and then work in my lines, and then use brighter colors to bring up um, some of the bluer areas of the freehand. And while you're doing this, and this is kind of like more of my beginner level, super wizardy kind of huge, big patterns, less subtle kind of freehand stuff that I'm going on. Um, and so when I try to bring up the brighter colors, I'll bring in the marine teal kind of triad. Marine teal is 9077. And then there's an aqua color 9078 that I bring in too. Um, so let's bring that in. Can you hear me, Bobby?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it looks really consistent right now. Not to jinx it, of course,
Okay.
but things look a lot better on this end.
Oh, good. Good. Is it streaming into? Have we caught up?
Yeah, I believe
All
you're
right.
caught up.
Cool.
You're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. 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 So I'm gonna work on a little more highlight and a little more thing. Now I think we're back. All good. Yep. Looks good. Sounds good now. Yeah. No, that's it. It looks like it's all my issues. I'm getting a little feedback on the line, but it's not that big a deal. So I'll come back in with some brighter, more intense and pigment colors when I want to do the highlights. And see, I just kind of made a little mistake here when I put too much in and lost the line. I'll let that dry instead of trying to wipe it off, and I'll just come back in and bring my dark line in. The dark line I used, and I haven't really done a good job explaining the paints this time, is my famous blue liner that I use on everything. It's kind of like my little go-to color on that. So, and I'll try to a lot of times hit the tops, like when I do these little circles. I like to hit the tops of the arcs with a little more of my little dot highlights. And if you go in, again, it's a back and forth kind of process. And if you go in and you go too far into the dark line, you can pick it back up again and just get your blue liner up, and you can clean it up a little bit more. And then I messed it up a little bit here. And I'll start off a lot of times with a thinner blue line, and as I kind of work through the process, I'll thicken other areas. And if it just reads like, oh yeah, I think this arc here should be a little bit more, I'll just add a little bit more to it. So it becomes kind of a process. So I will tend to work certain areas more. And if this area is the more of my kind of focus area where I want kind of the highlights to be, that's the area I'll kind of work to make it look good. And kind of like a similar vibe was on his sleeve here, right? And so I'll just continue to work that and pop up the highlight areas a little bit more and add a little more interest, a little more, like you said, brighter or more intense kind of pigments. Um, so
The ectomorph wants to know if have you got parchment paper on that wet palette?
I do. I have regular parchment paper, and so it's a wet palette. I'll talk about this probably on every show. I just use regular parchment paper. I don't use the wet palette paper. I don't like it. I don't like to have to heat it up in the microwave and what I've found, and it's been a while since I've tried to use it, so maybe it's changed. Um, the parchment paper, I mean, the wet palette paper will leave little hairs if you leave it in too long. And I'll try to use my little sliver of parchment paper until it's completely full of little paint dots, so it gets all over the place. Yeah, the waves of arcane energy are washing up and down the cloak. Yeah, so maybe we could add a little OSL effect or whatever to it as well, and go from there. But so, Bobby, one thing I was wondering is I was thinking about all the stuff that you'll sculpt humans, critters, what have you, monsters, but I don't know if I've ever remember you sculpting a dragon.
No.
Do you want to add anything more to that comment?
Um, I don't like to. Well, I don't want to say I don't like. My preference is to do smaller things. I like to do people-sized things.
Is that
I
because
like.
you're intimidated by Julie Guthrie's dragons?
Well, there is that. I mean, really, what's the point?
What's the point? Exactly.
What's what's the point? But I I like to sculpt things that I fantasize about playing with.
Ah,
And I'm not. I live in a very small condominium with a woman who won't let me put dragons on the shelves, and so there's no point in sculpting big dragons because they ain't going in my house. But
so
I can have little tiny figures.
do you keep a copy of everything that you sculpt?
Um, no,
Okay.
no. I get copies of things that I want to play with.
Oh,
Most of the time, I get I'm commissioned to do a job. It's something that somebody else wants.
mm-hmm.
But if I want to play with it, then I'll get a copy of it.
Okay. What are you laughing about?
By the way,
Oh, there's just cloaca talk on the chat.
See, that's because you've set this trap for yourself.
I blame Weeby.
Mm,
you should blame Weeby. I would blame Weeby.
I blame Weeby. Somehow I fired the cloaca cannon at Weeby, and he volleyed it back, and it stuck to me.
Ew. Can we not call this the Cloaca Cannon ever again?
Okay. Well, sorry.
ooh, since Bob and Julie are on, and on Bones 5 update last Friday, this isn't a Jackson piece, so don't get too upset, Bobby. But did you see that we were talking about this was going to be in the Bones
Yeah,
5?
that's cool.
Isn't this cool? He was so
That's
cool.
very cool.
And he needs to still be finished painting by a long shot. But yeah, he was one of the special ReaperCon resin only special gift kind of
Yeah.
things at one point.
Oh, I wish I had a video feed. The figure that I'm digging right now is that Julie sculpt of the barbarian on the pile of corpses.
Yeah.
That was another one of those resin con. Man, I love that figure.
I didn't get a copy of that.
Oh, you lose. That figure. That is one of the figures that my wife. I have it on display here. That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I've prepared to stand by. We've got
Okay.
important sculpting questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. With some more technical software, hardware
Yeah.
questions. We have more of that?
Yes.
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Bobby, do you use all the toys in ZBrush, live booleans, nanomesh, surface noise, or do you mostly treat it like virtual clay? I both. If I'm short on time, I'll use computer tricks, but I prefer to use just traditional sculpting techniques and just use virtual clay. I think a figure that it you can kind of tell. I like to. The game I play is I try to sculpt a figure, and then maybe maybe you would think it might not be digital. Sometimes I get going fast, and there's not enough time to play my game. But the game I like to play is sculpt digital figures that you can't tell are digital figures. That's the objective. And when you use tricks, they wind up looking digital.
Yeah.
But if you use Dynamesh and just sculpt clay, well, you wind up with little virtual tool marks and imperfections, and it makes it a lot less easy to distinguish. And then there's another question about using other apps like Mudbox. No, I have not. I didn't try Mudbox, but I did. I have done 3D modeling since the 80s, and I did. I got Lightwave 3D 1.0 with a digital toaster. I've used 3D Studio Max extensively. I've electric image animation system back in the 90s was another one that I was using. So I've done a lot of 3D stuff, but it's not sculpting. It's modeling. You're constructing three-dimensional objects. With ZBrush, particularly with the Dynamesh function, it really is sculpting. It's just like having magic clay.
Well, somebody was losing focus on, but Cloaca Talk brought them back. So
very
in
good.
case anybody has drifted, which you shouldn't be because it was very riveting, Cloaca, and I'll bring you, snap you back into focus.
You are a jerk. I'm just trying to answer the questions.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. Yeah. Thanks, Julie. The werewolf is kind of fun. He's super awesome. So I'm glad it's going to get out to the bigger masses. One of the things I always kind of joked with you guys about, and I've joked, Justin.
I think we had a huge bitrate dip. Wow.
Yeah.
That even Discord dropped on, I think, y'all's end.
Really?
Yeah, you cut out for me on Discord as well.
Yeah. Are we back on?
It looks like we are. We're steady
Okay.
again. The ship
All right.
is
This is frustrating. I'm sorry, everybody. So one of the last things I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I've seen this with Jew and Gene and Julie and Bob and Jason. You guys do these cool one-off, or like special edition minis where they're like some of the better stuff, like even the 25th anniversary stuff. I showed off the wizard a little bit ago, the little cleric girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're even in general release at this point. Sometimes it's like, God, this is such a cool figure, and then it's just a special edition, boom, and then no one has access to it anymore. So
Yeah, that's Ron's fault.
yeah. Does that? You get paid, so you're good, right? You're golden. But are there some of those minis that you're like, man, I really fell in love with doing that one, and damn it, it's not out, or it's just not in general release or anything like that? Is that frustrating at all to you, or do you care?
No, I can't really keep track of it.
Yeah.
Because, well, I do my thing, and then I turn it over to Ron, and then I'm moved on. I'm several figures along before, if it makes it into production, it's in production. So I'm never even looking at that end of the thing.
Yeah, I've brought it up to you before. I was like, oh, hey, I'm painting this that you did, and you're like, I don't even remember doing that.
Yeah.
Is that your old age or your senility, or just that you do so much? Or...
I'm sure there's a combination of debilitating factors. I don't know. Senescence, apathy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just wondering. Yeah, it's interesting that the different takes of everything. And are you? Go ahead.
The one thing that I've learned about miniatures is I don't know anything about, because I can't discern a pattern as to what people will love and what people will not care anything about. I'll do a figure and I'll think this is the greatest figure that's ever been. They're going to sell 1 million of these, and it drops dead.
Can
Then
you
I'll do
think of
another
one?
figure and
What was?
give me a minute and I'll think of one.
Yeah, but
But
they're
I've got one.
okay.
I Ron mocks me forever, and we're back to the caveman thing.
Uh huh.
But the little crouching caveman I did back
Yeah.
in the day. I mean, this is an old figure. I don't know, it's probably 20 years old.
Yeah.
But I did this. He's this little crouching. I was imagining this little caveman sentry, and he's crouching with his little spear. The people in production hated him. They called him the caltrop. But I thought this is the coolest figure ever. They're going to sell 1 million of this guy, and apparently they sold like 8. Ron won't even put him into bones because they've sold so few of him.
Now that you brought it up, there's going to be a run on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the?
Not likely.
Well, if anybody on chat can find the number of it, please post it up because we would like to see a spike in. If we could show a spike in that miniature, that particular one, because of this show, that'll validate a lot of things we've talked about today, but so many other things that we can't reference.
Yeah.
So.
A lot of things. It's crazy how things have changed too.
Yeah.
Like back at the time I did the little caltrop caveman, I did the caveman dragging the girl by the hair.
You can't do that anymore.
No, oh my gosh, the political climate has changed such that you would be run out of town on a rail if you did something so misogynist nowadays.
Well,
fortunately, my heart has truly changed, and I'm not nearly the misogynist I once was.
Well, what was that old sculpt by Raul Partha, Dennis Mize's Slave Auction or whatever?
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, mine was silly.
Yours wasn't that
mine was
inappropriate.
A dumb joke.
Yeah.
It was inappropriate and tacky, but it was just a dumb joke.
So it's not the 02387 is dragging girl guy. Buglip says it's 2395.
That's the one that's Caltrop Caveman.
I think so. Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah.
And they sold 8 of him.
So.
And then other figures that I think.
So if they've sold 8,
whatever.
If we could sell 8 in a week because of the show, I think it's worth it.
Hallador Arkelson is mocking me. He has all the cavemen still in the package.
Oh.
Oh, ouch. That's
yeah.
And actually, Bucklips bought 7 of those 8 sold. So.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so sad. I was so thrilled with that figure too. And then other times I'll do a figure and I think, oh, this is weak. What in the world was Izzy even thinking about this turd? And then it blows out like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, what do I know?
So you mentioned earlier about when digital really started and people were getting into it, how sculpts tended to look digital, and
they still do.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It can.
You can almost always pick a digital sculpt out.
It is a lot harder now, and
not so much in. I mean, the people who our little Reaper clique, I think we do a pretty good job of not looking plasticky.
Yeah, toyish.
But But I look at other manufacturers' products, and there's a lot out there that just look. They just look digital, or too digital for me.
And I asked Weeby this question last week. Is that because you had a hands-on putty background where you're able to take that and then take that into ZBrush, so it's able to look more like a miniature than it does? Yeah.
Yeah. All of the Reaper people are coming from the miniature side of things into the digital world, and a lot of the people out there are coming from the digital world into the miniature side. And sculpting miniatures is very difficult to do digitally because the most challenging part is caricaturing the model so that it looks like a miniature and not like a model railroad figure. So I see a lot of digital sculpts out there with little teeny tiny heads and little teeny tiny hands and 8 heads tall proportions, which I know there's folks out there who like those proportions, but I'm not one of them. I like old 6 head high Perry Twins toy soldier proportions. That's what I like. Yeah. I'm an old toy soldier guy.
Well, yeah, I have noticed. I've seen a lot of sculptors that did come from just the true digital background. They're doing video games, they're doing everything before, and they're
Yeah.
trying to make the leap over. And their stuff does tend to look a little more toyish in nature.
Yeah.
So I've been sent some pieces to work on from other companies about when I've seen stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's not quite as refined, or I don't know what it is, what I'm trying to say, but they just come across a little more toysy,
Yeah. Yeah.
My
And
wife,
that's fine. There's
Yeah.
a market for that. There's a lot of people out there who love that.
yeah,
But I like a more organic look,
yeah,
like figures that are sculpted in green stuff or polymer clay, and I like those old proportions. I like the old 6.5 heads tall, that sort of stuff.
Oh, Anne is on, and the Perry twins gave her first Golden Demon Award.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
let me brag.
yeah. Go.
I ate dinner with the Perry twins in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I found out from Nick Ayer, do you know him, the North Star Miniatures guy?
Uh huh.
He's English. That he, after Historicon, he and the Perry twins, and Falconbridge, the guy who owns War Games Illustrated, they were all touring Civil War battlefields. And I happened to be in Washington, D.C. The same weekend they were there. And I just drove over, across the river and met them for dinner and just spent the evening with the Perry twins and brown-nosed my heart out. It was great.
And
It was really disgusting.
And you're giving me shit on the show about brown nosing. I was just being nice.
I am competent to recognize it.
So,
Favorite GW sculpt.
Yeah.
I love all the old Perry Twins stuff. The old Perry Twins Bretonians. I love the all of that stuff from the '90s. A lot of the Jess Goodwin 40K, particularly the Space Marine characters and the Eldar. That guy just knows how to use green stuff. Really brilliant. The Perry Twins are brilliant, but I think my favorite GW sculpt. Well, I don't know. The one that comes to my mind is Brian Nelson's Aner Sword of Twilight. That is a fantastic. That's almost a perfect miniature. It's so simple and so elegant. It's a great figure.
Again, I'm going to date myself too. I really liked GW before when they were Citadel.
Yeah.
And they had those really cool dwarves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Those were just so much fun. And the one of my favorites that I can think of, there are two: the dwarf with the inferiority complex, the one that was on the stilts, and then there was the dwarf stretcher crew.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, do I have that? I'm going to show it off. Hold on. I haven't gotten up out of my seat to show, which is kind of a tradition.
Yeah. Your nerdiness is taking charge.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to show you my 3 old school favorite. Let me get back to the microphone. My 3 favorite old school Citadel sculpts. Here's the dwarf with inferiority complex, still unpainted, and that's so cool. It was just so much fun. And then this is the dwarf stretcher crew. So there was a little stretcher, and there were 2 dwarves. I usually had the guy with the hood in front and the little guy in the back. And they got
I don't remember that.
And there's a little victim,
guy.
the little victim on the thing, right?
Oh, that's great.
These are just the coolest little things. Yeah.
Is that one of the Morrisons did that, or is that a Perry Twins?
I don't know. It says it's one of the Perry twins, I think. It's MP.
That's great.
Yeah. And then this was my character when I was playing D&D a long time ago. I play a little dwarf.
That's a great sculpt.
Isn't it cool? Just all one piece.
Yeah.
Just all one piece. Yeah. These were so I have all these.
Super fun.
Yeah. So, well, we're about 4:15. So we're
What
even
does
though.
that mean?
What does that mean?
Thanks, Bug Lips. Michael Proctor, Prince of Dorkness. Anyways. Yeah, so.
What does it mean again?
Well,
I lagged and missed it.
Oh, it was. We usually go for about an hour, and I don't know how
Oh,
much
okay.
time we've actually been on with all the droppings and everything
So
else.
Justin was lying when he said 3 hours?
Yeah,
Yes, he
yeah.
was. He
Okay.
was.
Okay.
So,
We're looking at about, I think, an hour 20 total runtime right now.
okay. Okay. So maybe we'll just call it a show. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about, Bobby?
Remind me to show you my awesome coffee mug with
Ah,
the little pixel art head on it.
I'll do
Gene
that.
made me this killer coffee mug with my little pixel art portrait
Okay,
on
I'll
it.
do that. I'll do that. Maybe he could make me some pixel art. I'd like Gene, if you're
I did
still
the
on.
art. I did the art. He did the.
Well, why don't you take my Clever Crow logo and give me a pixelated one? Can you
All
do
right,
that?
I'll send you an art and an invoice.
I think we are. I just think you're still behind in the trade factor.
Yeah, that's true. I'm way behind. That's a fact.
Alrighty. So yeah, Rhonda, I am the Diet Coke of geek. Anyway, so that's it.
I did. Oh, I did the. I did the. I did. Anne asked. I did the pixel art. I've got a silly anecdote about it. Can I
Uh,
have 30 seconds?
you can. We'll stay on for another half hour if you want. I don't care.
Okay. I don't care
Yeah,
either.
I don't either.
But the
Because you seem to be loosening up finally.
am I?
That could just be the internet.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could be,
yeah,
or it might
yeah.
be the bourbon.
Yeah, it could be.
Um,
Yeah.
um, so I have my mug that Jean gave me.
Uh-huh.
I'm walking. I'm at church, and there's this cute little girl named Hannah. She's 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk by her, and she sees the mug with that picture of my head on it,
Yeah.
and she looks at it and she frowns and she says, "Who is that?" And I said, "It's supposed to be me. It doesn't look like me." And she says, "No." And I said, "Why not?" And she says, "Your beard is gray."
Oh, boy.
Like, oh, thanks for the honesty, honey.
Yeah,
Get lost.
exactly.
And I
Exactly.
kick you out into the parking lot. Nah. Anyway, I hope that was an anecdote worth waiting for.
Yeah. Hey, do you have anything you want to pub? We usually leave this at the end for anything that you want to pub that you're doing, or
What does that mean?
I don't know, publicize. Like
Like
pub.
no.
No, nothing. What about our D&D show?
Should I?
You want to talk about that? Why don't you pub our D&D show?
Oh, every other Friday. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not this Friday. It will be the following Friday. What's the date? Look it up on your calendar, real.
Yeah. Justin, producer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I was.
And Nightheart Gaming.
Yeah, Nightheart Gaming.
Frank Schumacher at Nightheart Gaming runs
May-
the game for us.
May the 15th.
Correct. May the 15th is the next one.
Yeah.
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 Super fun. And what's the start time? 6?
6, I believe. Unless that changes, it's supposed to be 6.
6 Central
6
Time.
6 Central Time.
Yeah.
And it is you and me and Weeby and Jean and Rhonda.
Yep.
And occasionally Ron or a Pugh brother might sit in.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Frank is running the game. And so far, there's been no fatalities.
None.
There was a seriously wounded bear.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Fuchs Bear definitely didn't deserve it.
Hey.
no. He was a pure victim.
I'm
kind of embarrassing.
I'm the elf ranger, and I made a determination that bear needed to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very frolicsome
Yeah.
elf ranger.
He had it
A
coming.
wood elf. WOULD wood elf.
Buglip said he had it coming, so that bear had it coming. I'm not gonna change my stance on that.
Also, Rhonda did almost drown. She's not wrong. That was
That's
Yes.
that's
Rhonda almost died within 20 minutes of being on Reaper Errant.
yeah. Well,
That's-
that was a little drama. That was just a little drama. It was fun.
Well, cool.
Yes, you can watch it here at that time.
Yeah.
And
then-
we used what's the little hobbit that Stoneheart miniatures.
what are you talking about?
We rescued a little Stoneheart hobbit.
Oh.
Oh darn it! Have I frozen again?
No, I can hear you.
Okay.
No, we helped. Yeah, we helped the little Hobbit kid. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we killed the red cap thingy, whatever that was. We beat the
Yeah, it was
crap.
a red cap that Frank had um, converted.
We beat the crap out of it. So that
Yeah.
was fun. And Rhonda
You
got the
you
killing blow.
yeah, you got to see it because Jason has a custom miniature. I have a
Mm-hmm.
custom miniature.
Mm-hmm.
Gene will soon have a custom miniature, although he sculpted the one he's using.
Yep.
You have a custom miniature, but you've got to finish getting it painted and send it in.
Yeah, but I'll have to get
Uh-huh.
another one
Oh.
because I want my version to keep, and then I'll send off the second one.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You need a little bigger one.
Yeah, and I'll send off this one.
Okay.
Which the one with the cloak or the one in full prance?
Full prance, man. A bear would be embarrassed to be shot by anything other than full prance.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's Stonehaven. It's Stonehaven.
Stonehaven,
Frank corrected
Stonehaven.
me. It's a Stonehaven miniature.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really cool miniatures.
Well.
Also, Doug Lip said that Rhonda had it coming too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhonda did have it coming.
And glad I managed to tune in, even if I was at the end. Have a good one, guys. So painting big, Anne's jumping off. Thanks for joining us, Anne, if you're still around. And something about the one with the cloaca. So I thought before the end of the show we'd throw another cloaca reference in there too.
All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So well, thanks for Bobby. Thanks for joining us. It wasn't Tito, but to have Bobby Jackson join us is always special. And
Special.
and so we'll be back next week, next Tuesday. Hopefully, internet will be better, and streaming will be better, and the show will be better. So everybody, take care and have a good week. Stay healthy, stay safe. Don't touch strange people, and that's it. Take care.
That was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
Thank you, Michael.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome. All right.
That was a lot of fun.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank
See you
y'all.
guys.
See y'all.